Today we're talking about Ratatouille, a story about dreams, talent, and one very unusual chef. At first, the idea of a rat becoming a great cook sounds completely impossible. But that is exactly what makes this story so interesting for learning English. It gives us useful expressions about ability, confidence, mistakes, and following your dreams.
And one expression we can use right away is, give it a try. We say this when we encourage someone to do something instead of being afraid of failure. For example, if your friend has never cooked before, you might say, you should give it a try.
Another useful expression is I can do it. It sounds simple, but native speakers use it all the time when they want to show confidence or motivate themselves. You can say it before an exam, an interview, a presentation, or even when you're trying to speak English.
But sometimes we feel the opposite. We might say, I'm not good at this. This expression is useful when you believe you do not have enough skill or experience. Maybe you are trying to cook a difficult meal and you make a mistake. You might say, I'm not good at this.
But making a mistake does not mean you should stop. A very useful phrase is, I'm still learning. This tells people that you are improving and that you do not expect yourself to be perfect immediately. It is especially useful when learning a language.
Exactly. If someone says, your English isn't perfect, you can simply say, I'm still learning. It sounds natural and confident because you are accepting that improvement takes time.
There is also an important expression connected to confidence. Believe in yourself. We use it when we encourage someone to trust their own abilities. You might say, believe in yourself. You've practiced enough for this.
And when something becomes difficult, you can say, don't give up. This means you should continue trying instead of quitting. It is one of those simple expressions that can be useful in almost every part of life.
Ratatouille also reminds us of another powerful idea. Follow your dreams. We use this phrase when we encourage someone to pursue something they really want, even when the goal seems difficult or unrealistic.
And that is exactly why these expressions are useful for English learners. They are not complicated sentences from a textbook. They are phrases you can actually use when talking about your own life, your goals, and your challenges.
So, as you listen to today's lesson, pay attention to how these expressions work in different situations. Try repeating them aloud and imagine yourself using them in a real conversation. The goal is not only to understand English, but to make these phrases part of your own vocabulary. And sometimes, following your dreams means doing something that other people do not understand. You may hear someone say, that's impossible, or you can't do that, but another useful expression is, I want to prove them wrong. We use it when we want to show that someone who doubted us was mistaken.
That's a strong expression, especially when someone does not believe in your abilities. But it is also important to remember that you do not have to prove everything to everyone. Sometimes the best reason to keep going is simply because you enjoy what you are doing.
Exactly. And that brings us to another useful phrase. It's worth it. We use it when something is difficult or takes a lot of time, but the result makes the effort worthwhile. For example, learning English can be challenging, but being able to understand movies without subtitles can make you think. It's worth it.
Another phrase you might hear is trust the process. It means you should continue working and improving even when you cannot see immediate results. When you learn English, progress is not always obvious from one day to the next.
You might understand one video perfectly today and struggle with another tomorrow. That does not mean you're getting worse. You are simply meeting different vocabulary, accents, and situations. The important thing is to keep practicing.
And if you make a mistake, remember this phrase. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. The more you speak and listen, the more opportunities you have to notice what you need to improve.
There is also a very natural expression, keep going. It is similar to don't give up, but it can sound more encouraging and positive. If someone is tired during a difficult task, you can say, keep going. You're almost there.
And that idea fits perfectly with learning English. You do not need to understand every single word. You do not need perfect pronunciation immediately. You just need to keep going and give yourself enough time to improve.
So when you think about your own English journey, Remember these expressions. I want to prove them wrong. It's worth it. Trust the process. It's okay to make mistakes and keep going.
Try using them in your own sentences today. The more often you use a phrase, the more natural it becomes. And eventually, you stop translating in your head and start using English automatically.
That is the goal. Not perfect English, but confident English that you can actually use in real life.